quiet hours, when the world feels distant, I walk with a calm carved from places most people never dare to look. My pulse stays steady, my breath unshaken, as if the cold in my veins was forged to protect the fire I carry within. I move through the night like a shadow with purpose, guided not by noise but by the slow, unwavering burn behind my ribs. There are moments when life demands a stillness that feels almost unnatural, a composure that doesn't crack even under the weight of unspoken storms. But I've learned to let my blood run cold when the world tries to unsettle me, to let clarity replace reaction, to let discipline quiet the doubts that rise like smoke in the corners of my mind. For beneath the stillness, my soul burns hotter than ever. This fire isn't rage, and it isn't chaos. It's a purpose that refuses to dim, a calling that moves through me like a slow burning light in a dark blue room. It pushes me forward when the path narrows, keeps me centered when everything around me shifts, and reminds me that resilience isn't loud but relentless. I've walked through nights that felt endless, where silence pressed against my thoughts like a heavy fog. Yet even then, the flame within me refused to falter. It warmed the cold edges of doubt, softened the weight of fear, and taught me that a burning soul does not depend on perfect conditions to keep glowing. Cold blood keeps me steady, burning soul keeps me alive. Together they shape a man who moves with clarity through darkness, who rises with quiet conviction, who understands that strength is born in the tension between calm and fire. I feel the contrast inside me, ice in my veins, flame in my chest, and I embrace it. For it is this balance that keeps me unshaken when the world demands more than it should. It is this duality that sharpens my steps, that steadies my voice, that guides me through every silent battle. I walk forward with cold blood and a burning soul, a man shaped by calm intensity, by quiet fire, by the unwavering truth that nothing can extinguish what was meant to rise, what was meant to rise. In the spirit lives between breaths, I hear the quiet rhythm of something wild inside me. Not chaos, not noise, but a steady pulse that refuses to fade. It beats like a distant drum in the dark, calling me back to the part of myself that the world could never shape. The part that moves untouched through shadow and silence. Life has tried to tame me in 1,000 subtle ways, softening edges, dimming flames, turning certainty into hesitation. But beneath every doubt, beneath every moment where I almost surrender, the heartbeat remains calm, steady, unbroken. A reminder that my spirit was never meant to live confined within expectations. I walk through my own thoughts as if they were an unexplored wilderness, listening to the echoes that linger in the deep blue corners of my mind. There in the quiet, the wildness grows stronger, not reckless, not frantic, but grounded. A strength rooted in understanding rather than defiance. My spirit moves like wind through an open night, shifting, learning, rising from every moment to try to hold me still. And as I breathe, I feel that hidden fire burn steadier, warming the parts of me I once doubted, clarifying the path ahead with a soft, unwavering light. The heartbeat of an untamed spirit is not a revolt, it is a truth, a quiet declaration that I was made to rise from difficulty, to grow where others shrink, to step forward even when the ground trembles. It beats with the memory of storms weathered, and with the promise of horizons still unseen. I have learned that strength doesn't come from silencing what is wild, but from embracing it, guiding it, letting it become the compass that leads me to who I am meant to be. Every challenge only sharpens the rhythm, every silence makes the pulse clearer. And as I move through the world, I carry that rhythm with me. Steadfast, patient, alive, it reminds me that my spirit is not meant to break, only to evolve, to deepen, to rise. This is the heartbeat of an untamed spirit, resilient, calm, moving through the night, with a strength that asks for nothing, yet transforms everything. In the quiet hours, when the world forgets to watch, I move through the stillness with a calm no one taught me. There is a dignity born in silence, a poise carved from long nights where only my thoughts kept me company. I learned to stand without applause, to rise without witnesses, to hold my ground even when no voice echoed mine. And in that solitude, something noble began to take shape. I walk with the weight of every moment that forged me, not as a burden, but as a quiet crown, unseen, unspoken, earned. The shadows that once felt cold now bow in recognition of the man I've become through endurance. A gentleman not defined by the world, but refined by the stillness he chose to embrace. There is a rise that happens within before the world ever notices the change. A rise made of calm decisions, of steady breaths take when others would break, of choosing character over comfort when the night tries to pull you backward. This rise is mine, silent but unmistakably strong. I move with the slow certainty of someone who no longer fears the unknown. Every quiet step marks another inch of growth, another layer of composure built from lessons the noise of life could never teach. Solitude became my mentor, discipline became my companion, and clarity became the lantern guiding me through every narrow path within myself. There is elegance in resilience, a grace in choosing patience over chaos, and a rest strength in the man who rises alone and remains unshaken. Not out of pride, not out of isolation, but out of an understanding that the journey inward is the foundation of every rise to follow. I feel the dawn stirring inside me, a light that doesn't need permission to grow. It spreads quietly, steadily, illuminating the truth I've carried all along, that the ascent of a man begins the moment he trusts his own silence. Risen through the quiet strength that solitude revealed. And as I step forward into the world once more, I do so not to be seen, but because I'm ready, steady, resolved, and rising still. In the stillness where every sound fades into breath, I stand alone with the weight of unspoken truths resting on my shoulders. The world outside moves like distant shadows, but within me something burns slow and steady. A quiet fire that refuses to dim. It's not anger, not chaos, but a noble fury born from realizing who I am when the noise finally dissolves. Solitude has a way of stripping everything down, removing what is borrowed, false or fragile, until only the core remains. The part of me that does not bend, the part that remembers its own strength. Even when silence feels heavier than stone, and in that silence something awakens, a sharp clarity arising forces. If my spirit remembers its mission after years of sleep and beneath doubt, I feel it growing with every quiet breath, the calm intensity of a man who finally sees himself clearly, not through the eyes of others, not through expectations or noise, but through the reflection found only in the deep blue chambers of solitude. There the fire inside me brightens, guiding me through every shadowed corner of my mind with a steady, unwavering glow. My noble fury is not a storm, it is a dawn. It rises without warning, illuminating the forgotten edges of my resolve. It teaches me that strength does not shout, that purpose does not tremble, that a man becomes unstoppable when he learns to stand alone without shrinking. I walked through days where nothing made sense, through nights where doubts lingered like cold mist, but solitude shaped me quietly, refining every fracture, polishing every scar into a lesson. And now when I face the world, I carry a force that wasn't there before, a disciplined fire, a noble fury that never seeks destruction, only direction. This rising flame inside me is mine alone, born in silence, strengthened by stillness, guided by the calm certainty of who I am becoming. And as I take each step into the unknown, I feel the fire steady beneath my calm exterior, a reminder that solitude didn't break me, it forged me. Solitude ignites my noble fury, a silent power that moves with grace, a force that lifts me steady and unshaken into the man I was meant to rise as. I to the bow, my noble fury, a silent power that moves with grace, a force that lifts me steady and unshaken into the man I was meant to rise as. In the quiet spaces where the world stops reaching for me, I sit with the weight of my own story resting in my hands. No noise, no applause, just the steady pulse of a man who learned to build in silence what others only dream about. Every choice, every step, every moment spent facing myself has become a stone laid carefully into the foundation of the life I'm shaping. An empire isn't born from luck, it rises from the long nights where doubt whispers loudly and strength answers softly but firmly. I've walked through those nights, slowly gathering the pieces of who I am and assembling them with patience into something that cannot be shaken. What I build is not for display, not for validation, but for the truth of knowing. I crafted it with my own resolve. There is power in moving quietly and trust in the process, even when no one else sees the steps you take. I felt the weight of small beginnings, the uncertainty of starting with nothing but conviction. Yet each breath, each decision made with clarity became another brick in the structure of the man I am becoming. Discipline of patience, of the lessons carved into me by challenges I never asked for, but faced anyway. It stands not above others, but firmly beneath my feet, a ground that does not tremble, even when life demands more than expected. I have learned to shape my future, not with haste, but with deliberate calm, to trust the quiet voice within me that knows the way forward long before the world believes it. And every time I rise from a setback, the foundation grows stronger, the vision grows clearer, the path ahead stretches wider. Now I walk through life with the steadiness of someone who understands what he has built. Not a kingdom borrowed or inherited, but an empire forged from silent perseverance. It carries my scars, my victories, my deepest truths. This is the empire built in my own name. Quiet, resilient, unmistakably mine. In the quiet aftermath of the storms I weathered, I stand still, letting the silence breathe around me. There is a different weight in my chest now, not the heaviness of past burdens, but the steady grounding of a man who has walked through his own shadows and returned with clearer eyes. When I look at the world now, I see it not as it demands to be seen, but as it truly is. And in that clarity, I feel the awakening of someone reborn. My gaze no longer drifts with uncertainty. It holds steady, anchored by truths forged in nights when I had nothing nothing but my thoughts for company. I have learned to face myself without fear, and in doing so, I uncovered the strength hidden beneath the doubts that once clouded my vision. There is a calm within me now, a slow burning certainty that wasn't there before. Rebirth doesn't come suddenly, it comes from the small choices, the quiet confrontations, the moments where the old self falters and the new self rises without asking for permission. I've let go of what no longer defines me, shed the expectations that once tightened around my spirit, and stepped into a version of myself that feels both unfamiliar and deeply undeniably authentic. When I meet my own reflection now, I see a man shaped by silence, not broken by it. A man who found direction, not in applause or recognition, but in the subtle guidance of his own resilience. The gaze I carry is not sharp from anger, nor hard from bitterness. It is steady because it has seen darkness and chosen not to become it. The world may not notice the shift, but I feel it in every breath, in every step forward. This reborn gaze carries a quiet promise that I will not return to the man who lived half asleep, who hid behind hesitation, who dimmed his own fire to fit into places unworthy of him. With each day, my vision grows clearer, my purpose steadier, my spirit more alive. With the truth I once ignored, I walk now with the calm confidence of someone who has rebuilt himself from the inside out. This is the gaze of a man reborn, quiet, steady, unwavering. A gaze shaped not by what he survived, but by who he has chosen to become. In the stillness, where the world fades into a distant hum, I stand alone, listening to the quiet like it carries a secret, meant only for those who dare to face themselves. Solitude settles around me like a shadow cloak, soft yet undeniable. And in its calm weight, I begin to feel a strength rising from a place I once believed was empty. There is a space within every man where noise cannot reach, where expectations fall away, and where the truth of who he is echoes loud enough to be heard. I walk into that space, slowly breathing through the uncertainty, letting the silence reveal what I was never able to see in the light. In solitude, I find the edges of my spirit, the parts that were never meant to be broken. The resilience that waited patiently beneath the noise of everyday life. What once felt like isolation meditation now feels like clarity, a deep blue realm where my thoughts unfold with honesty and calm precision. Teaches me to stand still without losing balance, to breathe deeply without letting fear take root, to look inward without turning away from what I find. And as I sit with myself, not resisting, not running, I begin to understand the truth hidden in the silence. This is where power begins. Strength born in solitude is not loud, not forceful, not desperate to be seen. It's a steady pulse, a quiet awakening that grows with every breath taken. Without the world's influence, it's the kind of strength that shapes the man I am becoming, not through battle but through awareness. I feel the power rising gently, like a tide that knows no rush. It brings with it a sense of direction, a calm certainty that does not falter, even when life demands more than I feel ready to give. Solitude sharpens me, polishes the parts of me, yeah. I once overlooked and guides me back to the center of myself. Here, in the silence, I am not weakened, I am rebuilt, not lost, but deeply founded. And as I step forward, I carry with me the quiet truth that solitude is not an empty place, but the ground where power is born, steadily, patiently, and undeniably mine. In the muted calm, before the world stirs awake, I walk the path that few can see, a road carved not in earth, but in the quiet corridors of my own mind. This journey isn't marked by distance, nor measured by the steps I take, but by the battles I face in silence, the ones fought far from any watching eye. The inner warrior is not born in noise. He emerges in the deep blue stillness, where fear whispers softly and doubt lingers like a chill in the air. It is there, in that quiet, that I choose my direction, not with haste, but with a calm conviction that grows stronger each time I refuse to turn away. I have learned that strength does not always look like force. Sometimes it looks like patience, like a breath drawn slowly when everything in me trembles. Sometimes it looks like stepping forward even when uncertainty shadows the path, trusting the faint glow of a truth deep within my chest. Every challenge I face has left marks, not on my skin, but on my understanding, etching lessons into the core of who I am. These quiet marks guide me, steadying my steps, reminding me that a warrior's path is shaped not by perfection, but by persistence. I move through my thoughts as though they were forests after rain. Listen to the echoes that rise from the depths of my own silence. In those echoes, I hear pieces of myself I once overlooked. Resolve hidden beneath hesitation, clarity beneath confusion, courage beneath the soft hum of doubt. On this inner path I do not run, I walk with deliberate calm, letting each step sink into what I've learned, letting every moment refine the fire within me. The journey is long, but every breath I take makes the warrior inside me stand taller, more sure, more aware of the strength he carries. I'm not shaped by what stands before me, but by what rises within me. And as I continue this silent journey, I feel the inner warrior grow, steady, unwavering, guided by a truth that needs no audience. This is the path of the inner warrior, quiet, resolute, and called by the man who chooses to rise from within. In the dim light, before the day awakens, I stand in the quiet, steadying my breath, as the weight of another rising dawn settles across my shoulder. I have walked long enough through nights of doubt to know that strength is not born from victory, but from the promise a man makes to himself when no one else is listening. And in this stillness I whisper the same vow that has carried me through every shadowed path. I will not retreat. There are moments when the world feels heavier than it should, when uncertainty curls around the edges of my resolve, like a cold fog searching for a weakness. But each time it comes, I plant my feet a little firmer, I breathe a little deeper, and I remember the silent oath that has shaped the man I am becoming. An oath carved not from pride but from endurance. I walk through the echoes of every hard decision I've made, feeling their lessons settle like like stones beneath my feet. They steady me, they remind me that retreat was once the easier road. The path of turning back, of shrinking beneath the weight of unfinished stories. But I chose differently, I chose the long way, the quiet way, the way that requires a spine made from more than fear. In the dark blue calm of solitude, I find the part of me that refuses to bend. Not because life has been kind, and not because I've never stumbled, but because each setback taught me how to rise without needing applause. How to move forward even when no one sees the effort. Strength I learned is a quiet conviction that the next step must be taken, no matter how heavy it feels. My hope is not a cry into the world, it is a promise spoken inward, a vow that I return to when the night grows long and the doubts grow louder. I remind myself that retreat is not in my nature. I advance not with haste, but with deliberate calm, carrying the weight of who I have been and who I am still becoming. I am the man who never retreats, not because I am unbroken, but because I have chosen resilience over every fear that tried to claim me. And with each step forward, my oath grows stronger. Quiet truth written into the core of my being. In the moment when the world finally grows quiet, I feel a different kind of truth rising within me. Not loud, not demanding, but steady like a heartbeat I had forgotten to hear. The silence around me isn't empty, it's a sanctuary, a place where every hidden part of me steps forward without fear. In that stillness I understand that strength doesn't come from noise, but from the calm that shapes a man when no one is watching. I sit with the quiet as if it were an old friend, one who knows every shadow I've carried and never turns away. In the deep blue calm of my own mind, I listen to thoughts I once avoided, words unspoken, doubts unshallow. Silence doesn't rush me, it simply waits until I'm ready to face myself honestly. And in that honesty, something steady begins to form, a resilience built from acceptance rather than resistance. My strength is now made of thunder, it's made of soft breaths taken with intention, of nights spent reflecting instead of a running, of learning to trust the quiet voice that rises only when everything else fades. There is power in stillness, a power that sharpens purpose and softens fear. In silence I discover the boundaries of my mind, and I learn to move past them with patience rather than force. Every lesson I've held tightly has a deeper meaning when viewed through the lens of quiet reflection. The storms I once feared lose their grip when I meet them from a place of calm certainty. And every time I return to the stillness, I feel myself becoming not hotter, not colder, but clearer, more grounded, more aligned with who I truly am. In silence I rise without trembling. In silence I see without distortion. In silence I rebuild the parts of myself that life tried to wear down. My strength grows not from the world outside, but from the calm that lives within me. Unseen yet unshakable, it's a quiet fire, a patient force, a steady truth. My strength is born from silence, from the space where I return to breathe, to learn, to rise, and to become the man. Oh, the noise could never shake. In the quiet moments when the world grows distant, I feel the storm gathering beneath my calm exterior. It doesn't roar, it doesn't shout, it moves like a slow wind through forgotten corridors of my mind. Every thought flickers like lightning behind closed eyes, and yet I stand still, breathing through the quiet chaos, as if each breath were an anchor, pulling me back to myself. The storm within me isn't meant to break me. It's a teacher, a mirror, a forge. It rises to test the steadiness of my spirit, to ask if my resolve can withstand the weight of everything I keep hidden beneath a composed gaze. And when the pressure builds, when the night feels heavier than it should, I inhale deeply, letting the darkness settle without letting it define me. I've learned that strength isn't measured by how loudly a man stands, but by how quietly he breathes. When the world inside him trembles, every slow breath reshapes the storm, softening its edges, taming its force, reminding me that even the fiercest winds eventually follow the rhythm of the calm they encounter. I move through this inner weather as if walking through a long rain-soaked night, unhurried, unafraid, listening to the whispers hidden beneath every rumble. The storm speaks in truths I once ignored, in lessons written in the shadows I tried to outrun. But but now I face them, not with resistance, but with steady acceptance. With every breath, the storm shifts. With every exhale, clarity returns. What once felt overwhelming now feels like a moment of transformation. A necessary tension that sharpens who I am and prepares me for who I am becoming. There is power in not collapsing and standing soft, yet unbroken, and trusting that storms are meant to move through, not to stay. And so I breathe slow, deep, deliberate, letting the turmoil pass through me without tearing me apart. I remain grounded, anchored in a silence that grows stronger with each rising wave inside my chest. I am breathing through the storm within, not to escape it, but to rise with it. Steady, centered, and quietly unshaken. In the quiet pause between night and dawn, I hear the remnants of who I used to be. A softer version, a quieter soul, one who bent under the weight of unspoken doubts. But the years carved something deeper into me, a strength that doesn't shout, a fire that doesn't flare, only burns. Steady in the silence beneath my ribs. I walk through memories like distant rooms, their walls faded, their echoes soft and low. I don't fear them anymore, I listen to them. For in every old whisper of failure or fear, I hear the rise of someone new. Someone who no longer breaks but bends and returns, stronger than before. There is an echo inside me that refuses to fade, a voice shaped by storms I never asked for, yet learned to withstand. It speaks not in loud declarations, but in calm, steady certainty. It says you stood when others expected you to fall. It says the quiet inside you is not emptiness, it is endurance in its truest form. My steps are slower now, but never hesitant. I move with the weight of lessons carried, not as chains, but as anchors of clarity. The shadows that once tried to swallow me now walk beside me like silent companions, reminding me how far I've risen and how much further I intend to go. Strength isn't in the hardness of a man, but in the softness he refuses to let the world erase. In the steady breath he draws when everything around him trembles, in the choice to stand alone, not because he wants to be untouched, but because he knows solitude reveals truth that noise can never offer. I am the echo of the unbreakable man, not perfect, not untouched by pain, but shaped by the resilience that grows in the deepest chambers of the soul. Every quiet moment strengthens the steel within me. Every silent night polishes the resolve I carry, and every step forward repeats the vow I once whispered to myself. I will not break, I will become. So I move not loudly, not proudly, but with a calm that unsettles doubt. For the echo inside me is strong, certain, unwavering, the living proof that the unbreakable man still rises. I will become. Ooh. So I move not loudly, not proudly, but with a calm that unsettles doubt. For the echo inside me is strong, certain, unwavering, the living. In the dim hour where the world forgets to breathe, I stand alone beneath the weight of my unspoken thoughts. The shadows stretch around me like silent witnesses, and in their quiet presence I feel the truth of who I'm becoming. Not a man running from the dark, but a man shaped by it, strengthened by it, forged in the places where fear once tried to speak louder than my will. I walk slowly through the corners of my own mind, where doubts used to cling like cold mist. Now they fade when I face them, dissolving under the steady fire that burns behind my calm gaze. There is a kind of power that grows quietly, a resolve built from choosing to rise, even when no one sees the climb. The shadows don't define me, they refine me. Every quiet battle I fought within myself left marks that don't break skin but sharpen spirit. Each step I take carries the weight of lessons learned in moments when silence felt heavier than any storm. But still I move forward, steady and deliberate, because strength isn't born from comfort, it is born from confronting what tries to hold you still. I've come to realize that resolve is not a single decision, but 1,000 small choices whispered in the dark. It's a soft persistence of standing when the world feels distant, the quiet promise to myself that I will not be undone by shadows, but shaped into someone who walks through them unshaken. In I breathe in the depth of everything I once avoided. Not to dwell, not to sink, but to rise with a clearer mind and a heart tempered by silence. The night teaches me to see without fear, to listen without hiding, to move without hesitation. Now when the shadows stretch across my path, I don't stare back. I walk through them like a man who understands that darkness is only another kind of light, one that reveals what the sun never could. My resolve grows with every quiet step I take, a silent fire that refuses to fade. I am forged in shadows and resolve, a man shaped by quiet strength, rising not with noise, but with unwavering purpose. In the quiet hours before the world awakens, I walk through the corridors of thoughts no one hears. The night wraps around me like an old familiar coat, and every step echoes softly against the weight of my own mind. I'm not searching for noise, nor for someone to fill the space in. I'm searching for the truth that grows only where shadows listen. I've learned that silence is not the absence of sound, but the place where a man finally meets himself, where the breath slows, the heartbeat deepens, and every doubt stands still long enough to be seen clearly. I walk through that inner stillness, steady and unhurried, a traveler who knows the value of moving without fear. There is a strength that doesn't shout, a power that rises without demanding an audience. It's a strength born in solitude, when the world expects you to fall, but you stand anyway. Like the tide returning to the shore, I come back to myself again and again. Each return calmer, stronger, more certain. I walk through memories like dimly lit halls, touching the walls only to remember where I began. Not to stay there, not to cling to what I once was, but to honor the journey that shaped this quieter version of me. In the dark blue silence, I am not lost, I am becoming. Tells me a story I once ignored. Every still moment reveals the truth I once avoided. The silence doesn't frighten me now, it guides me, it teaches me, it sharpens the edges of my purpose. Even the shadows step aside when a man learns to hear himself. I walk on, not rushing, not hiding, letting the night carve deep clarity into my thoughts. thoughts. I feel the strength rising like dawn inside my chest. A light no one sees, but everyone senses. And in this quiet I carry myself with calm defiance. A lone figure who no longer fears the path ahead. I am the walker of the inner silence, a man forged not by noise but by understanding. And as long as the night speaks in this soft, unwavering voice, I will follow it, step by step, until the world finally sees the strength that was born in the quiet.